All right, great. So thank you for the invite, Chris. Thank you for introducing me. And Kapila, thank you always for inviting me to this event. It's a pleasure to be here. And I had a pleasure to introduce to you Global Ports Holding, as well as talk a little bit about what's retail, shoreside, not necessarily on board the ships. So I'm going to start by talking a little bit about the state of the industry that it was just discussed. As you can see, I'm not going to read all the numbers, but you can see how all the passengers from 1970 to 2024 has been growing and growing and growing. We had this small hole during the pandemic, but after that, you can see how we just came back stronger than ever. Lisa was saying the industry is booming. Lisa was saying also it's on fire in a good way. Well, it is. It is. Not only that, not only we're growing as fast as you can see there, but there's also currently, as I speak, more than 100 ships currently being developed. And not only that, so the ships are also getting bigger. The average size before used to be 1,500. Now we are aiming for the next few years to become almost more than twice as much, 3,200. So all of these ships, as you see, are growing in capacity, and this is a huge opportunity not only for cruise retail, but as well to, for port shopping retail as well. So where does all these ships dock? I mean, at the end, this huge opportunity for every retail partner to work on board the ships. It's amazing, but these ships have to dock somewhere, unless there's a trip to nowhere, which we've seen that there's some of them. So this is where Global Ports come into play. So I'm going to show a short video so you see what Global Ports is all about.
If the routine of daily life is bringing you down, it's time to take action. Cruising is a wonderful way to break free from the ordinary. Embark on an unforgettable journey. That's where we step in. Welcome to Global Ports Holding. We are the world's largest cruise port operator, hosting millions of passengers each year. Our global network spans continents, creating unforgettable experiences for cruise passengers worldwide. As pioneers in the cruise industry, we bring years of expertise, operational excellence, and a collaborative approach that sets us apart. Through our operating model, supported by cutting-edge technology, our award-winning ports set industry standards. At Global Ports Holding, we integrate our ports into the destination itself, ensuring a smooth transition for passengers and crew, creating a flawless experience. From luggage handling to stevedoring, our integrated port services offer comprehensive and efficient operations. Designed with advanced green energy solutions, our terminals play a crucial role in fostering a more sustainable future for both the cruise industry and the communities they serve. At our ports of call, delve into vibrant cultures, rich history, culinary delights, and genuine connections, all coming together to craft lasting memories. Prioritizing health, safety, and security, we seamlessly incorporate infrastructure and digital solutions. With a proven track record in developing state-of-the-art facilities, our future-ready cruise ports can easily accommodate even the world's largest cruise ships. Investing in transformational projects and promoting local business growth, we are elevating the potential of destinations. By collaborating closely with all stakeholders, from local communities to cruise lines, we create unique and vibrant ports that celebrate the essence of each destination. Taking a break from your usual surroundings is sure to boost your energy and productivity when you return. Global Ports Holding is the doorway to making dreams come true. As we reimagine the future of cruising, join the world's largest cruise port operator, Global Ports Holding.
So that was just a small introduction about global ports, so you get the idea of what we are all about. Here are some quick numbers. As you can see, we are currently in 32 ports. We are aiming to have about 50 ports in the next couple of years. We are after several ports, both in the Caribbean and as well as in Europe. We recently acquired Liverpool and Casablanca, Morocco, and we also just acquired St. Lucia. We have one commercial port. We are in 19 countries. We are in 4 continents. The fourth was Africa that we just acquired with Casablanca, Morocco. And then we have more than 20 million passengers a year. And then finally, we have employees from more than 20 countries. You can see we're a public company listed in the UK back in 2017. Currently, we being the world's largest port operator, we are currently holding 15% of the total market share. And our idea is to, as I said, keep growing. We are currently having about 5,400 calls a year. How's our distribution? Just to get an idea. So from the number of calls that we have, 27% of them come from Carnival Corporation. Then 21% of them call from Royal Caribbean, 12% from MSC, 9% from Norwegian, and then we have a large portion from other cruise lines. As you can see, we are currently working with more than 70 cruise lines, and that accounts for more than 32% of their market share that we share with them on calls. Here are some of the ports that we carry, all the way from Alicante to Zadar, as I said, in 4 different continents. And in some of these places, we have the terminal where we have some shopping there as well, and in some countries, we also have a shopping village there. Now, how does it translate? Now that I spoke about what GPH is all about and the core business of GPH, there's also the retail component or the ancillary revenue component. As you can see, there's food and beverage, there's retail, there's other things. And one of the biggest questions that maybe you can ask related to what ship to shore means is what's the main difference between shopping on board versus shopping on shoreside or port? And this is one of the most important questions. How do we differentiate? And I wanted to highlight some of the bigger opportunities and some of the differences that you see between them. The first one is this slide talks about cruise retail, and as you all know, there's a captive audience, and this is something unbelievable. Whether the ship is like a 3 or 4 day, or like a 7, 8 day, or sometimes it's even longer than that, you have the captive audience, and you have the ability to engage with the guests throughout the entire cruise, start talking to them, planting those seats, and then at the end of the cruise, you can close those sales. Whether that's fine jewelry, it's an amazing opportunity that you see on board the ships. You have detailed guest information. Sometimes you have so much information that it's even hard to see how you use it, even using artificial intelligence. In the case of detailed guest information, not only you get demographics, but you also know if a guest is a repeat cruise or they even sailed before and even bought a diamond. So you can offer them using that information and a specific piece that you know that they might like because they probably purchased before. Pre-cruise, post-cruise, or no cruise. You have the ability to sell something pre-cruise, and this is something that it's, I think, in the early stages. Using that information, you can sell them cabin decor, you can sell them things that can deliver to your cruise. Post-cruise, and I believe that there's an opportunity to do this, and some of our colleagues were talking about this. It's just a matter of using that information to see how, after you remember your cruise, is there something you can get and it's probably sent to your house? Or even no cruise. There's the opportunity. There are what I call fans and what I call fanatics. There's people that is very into the brands of the cruise lines, and there's opportunity to tap into those opportunities to basically send souvenirs or other type of type of merchandise to their homes. Cross promotion with onboard. Gianfranco was talking a lot about this. There's always opportunity to crisscross promotions with spa, with art, with food and beverage. If you go to a bar and you have the ability to buy some liquor there and you like it, you want to take a bottle home, is there an opportunity to do that? And currently the cruise lines are a little bit siloed in that regard, so there's opportunity to crisscross those promotions. Logo opportunity. I was invited by Capilla a couple of years ago to speak about logo and how on Carnival we were pioneer about engaging on this logo development. We work with Starboard, we work with Harding, with Dufry, and with Heinemann, and even Effie took part of it to create an assortment that was specifically created for the Carnival guests. So there is a huge logo opportunity that I believe that it's just scratching the surface of where you can get. And then finally, ship-specific souvenirs. There's a very interesting survey that talks about how people remember how they cruised before. And it's interesting knowing that a lot of people remember the brand, but it's more the people that remember the specific name that they cruised on. Sometimes they didn't make mistakes. They say, yeah, I cruised on a Oasis. I think it was Carnival, and that's not the case. Or it could be the opposite. So it's very interesting to do ship-specific souvenirs. That is something specific to the cruise lines. Now, when it comes to shoreside retail, another key opportunity for them, it's there's something about the destination that when you get there, you are in that mood. Like after being a couple of days, sea days on board the ship, you are going to Cozumel, you're going to Kusadasi, you are so excited to get shoreside and probably experience a shore excursion that there's something about that puts you in the right mood to want to buy something. So we need to take advantage of that mood to sell something and make it part of the experience. There's a lot of qualitative and quantitative information. So you know how many guests we're going to get. You know at what time the ship is arriving, what time the ship is leaving. We know how many people might be going to a shore excursions. We know, for how long we're going to have those people. And we know whether they're Italian or whether they're going to be American. And we know what they like. So there's a lot of information that we can use for the ports using this specific data. Unique about port shopping, you have the ability to sell to cruise passengers. But not only that, you also, in some cases, have the ability to sell even to the locals or even to the hotel guests. There are certain villages, like for example, if you go to Nassau or if you go here to Kusadasi, there's certain ports where you have the ability to actually go to the shopping village and buy, even though you didn't cruise or came on a cruise line. And there's also an interesting market with the crew members. There's something about the crew members getting off the ship, that sometimes they're looking for just different food. I mean, they love the food on board the ships, don't get me wrong, but then they want to taste something different once they are shoreside. Maybe have some time to use the Wi-Fi and call their families. And when they do that, they always want to have or taste something different. So there's also a huge opportunity not only to sell the guests, but also to the crew members and have them have an amazing experience. One of the challenges that I had when I was 6 years at Carnival is the space that you have on board. And this was also mentioned throughout these last presentations. The space is limited, not only for display, but also for storing merchandise. And one of the things that is an advantage to have this setup shoreside is to have that ability not only to have more space to display, but also warehouse. And you have the ability to basically be replenishing in a lot of times, which is a little more challenging on board the ships. After that, there's local collaborations that you can also do. If you go to Nassau, for example, we have this Young Canoe Museum, and we have these experiences happening, throughout the day. So you have the ability to basically use those experiences to tag in and to, for example, put up a show. If we know that most of the passengers are coming back, let's say at 4 p.m. before they get into the cruise, and we have this Young Canoe show where there's like these dancers and the musical around, and you do that in front of the shops, that's going to gather a lot of people. They're going to have that amazing experience, and then the opportunity to shop and get a souvenir from that experience is also a great opportunity that you can find shoreside. And then, of course, sense of place, and finally, destination, which I think is one of the key words. The same way that there is so much excitement about cruise lines, specifically to logo or specifically to ship-specific items, there's also a lot of excitement about the destination. And I think this is important. I'll give an example. So when I had a chance to go on a cruise, and I wanted to get a genuine tobacco, let's say from Cuba, like I had the ability to probably buy that tobacco, on board. But there's something about like, no, I want to bring that specific souvenir from the place where I went. And that's something that's always going to be there. If you're going to Paris, you want to buy, probably want to buy a red wine from there. If you're going to Mexico, you might want to get like a specific brand tequila from there. So there's something about destination that is unique and that gives you the ability to do it shoreside in an amazing way. Here are some successful examples. I mentioned before NASA cruise ports. So I don't know if you had a chance to see the NASA cruise port before we took over. Basically, we took that port, we grabbed a concession for 30 years, and we invested $250 million in the first stage, then an additional $50 million later, and we were able to build this amazing shopping village. State of the art, we currently receive more than 5 million passengers only in that terminal, and we're expecting 6 million passengers for next year. And we did a unique and amazing collaboration with the government so that a lot of the things that we sell there are unique to NASA. You cannot find them anywhere else in the world. And there's something about an art gallery, Grand Canyon Museum, and a lot of local flavors, including a market, a straw market, where you see people, local people working there. So we are providing an opportunity for the locals as well to give a sense of place, but to also professionalize themselves. We talk to them, we engage with them. How can they be better? How can they engage better with the guests and make a profit out of that? And that's something we are very proud of. But this is just one example. As you can see here, there is, this is a terminal. As you can see, throughout that bridge, all 6 million passengers pass through all that bridge, and this is an amazing destination. What you see here, this big building, that's the Grand Canyon Museum, and it's an amazing experience that we built there, and our plan is to keep engaging with projects like this throughout the world. This is an example of the shopping village. The way we built it, you can see there's the port all the way at the end, then there's the terminal, and then people need to walk through this shopping village before they go out. And this is an amazing experience. We were able to build inside this port on the other side, and I'm going to share here another view. You can see these piers right here, where people is able to take the short excursions. So it's an amazing experience to just walk through the village and then go to the end and then have that ability. This amphitheater that you see here, we also call it retailtainment, because everything that you see here is all about not only shopping, but also food and beverage. This amphitheater, we had an amazing cruise ship that it was a chartered ship, and that included to have like concerts on board, but then they came here overnight and had a concert throughout our port, and that was an amazing experience and something unforgettable, and it's going to repeat again. Here's another view of the port. As you can see, something that we did in Nassau. But then we also did the same in Kuchadasi. Here we have somebody from GPH, which is the manager of this shopping village. This is our highest revenue per pax that we have across all of the ports that we have. Amazing job. And as you can imagine, Kuchadasi is a port that is very famous for shopping as well. There's a lot of people that want to buy interesting things. Later, you will have a chance to go to the port here and then also visit one of the ports, and you're going to see how the experience of shopping is amazing. Same thing in Valletta. We did that in Malta. It's an amazing destination, state-of-the-art. But what we did here is, as you can see on that picture over there, or you can even see it here, it's an amazing facility. So we grabbed the entire pier, but we were able to create shopping experiences, including retail experiences, without touching the facades, so that we basically keep the historic look and feel of the destination. Other things that are happening around the world, you can see here, top left, that's Antigua. This is the new development that we are currently working on. We expect to have this inaugurated by June of next year. We're going to build an entire shopping village. It's going to have a swimming pool experience with a swim bar. It's going to have a DJ. It's going to be an entire experience, and then a shopping village all around. You can see here Cozumel from Carnival. There you can see Celebration Key. There you can see Royal Caribbean's Coco Cay. As you can see, it's not only about having just the pier, just the port, or just a shopping village. Sometimes it's a whole destination. So now that I mentioned, a little bit about the ports, a little bit about where the opportunity lies in what I call the shop experience, let's talk a little bit about the brands. Where's the biggest opportunity for brands? And I always tend to use this example. It's one of my favorites. As you know, this product is very famous. It's by far one of the #1 SKU sellers around the world. But there's something unique about this product. I remember that looking into the data, that was the #1 SKU seller on board the ships. Why is that? Specifically in the case of Carnival and other brands, and speaking to Harding, to Starboard, to Dufry, and to Heinemann as well, there's something unique about this product because it's specifically designed for the Caribbean. You cannot buy this anywhere else. It's just in the Caribbean, in certain ports, and on board the ships. So people not only buy to consume themselves. I've seen people buying an entire box and take them box to even sell them, when they come back to Miami or wherever the port is. But it's something unique because it makes people feel special. This is something that you cannot get anywhere else. And that's a huge opportunity. I'm surprised that I haven't seen the same from a tequila, from a rum, from a brandy, from whiskey. Like, I think there's plenty of opportunity to create specific items that you can only buy in certain ports. Maybe you can do the same with some watches. There could be something specific about if you're going to Spain, to Barcelona, maybe you can find this specific watch that you can only buy there. Maybe something related to Formula One, maybe something related to soccer or something. And you can use Rafa Nadal for tennis. You can use any of these soccer players as well that are famous in Barcelona. But I believe there's a huge opportunity for brands to do that. Here's an example. So a few years back, we tapped into the opportunity of these mugs that Starbucks creative. They have these called Destination Series, and it's something that we decided to do. Carnival doesn't have any Starbucks shop, but what we decided to do back then was to basically create these mugs that were destination-driven and were ship-specifics-driven, and collaborate with the bars and with the coffee shops on board Carnival to create a specific mug for every single ship. Now, as I was doing some research, I realized and I found out that Norwegian just started doing this as well with Starbucks, which I'm very excited, and I congratulate you. I think this co-branding experience, it's a unique opportunity, and it's tied to the destination, and it's tied to the specific ship. And I see a lot of people around the world that are collecting these mugs. So this is something that I believe is great, but it's another example of experiences where brands can take advantage of these collaborations and maybe do something that is specific to the ship, specific to destinations, whether that's on board or whether that's on a shore side. Having said that, enough talking. I wanna start with a quick trivia. Let me see who has the answer. But I have 3 countries here. Mexico, I'm gonna talk about specifically Cozumel, for example. Do you know what's the #1 SKU seller in Cozumel? Please raise your hand. Oh, come on! There you go, vanilla. Well done, Jennifer. I thought you were going to say tequila. Vanilla is the #1 seller. And again, there's something. I've seen ships selling vanilla on board, and it sells great. But there's something about you can have the exact same brand and sell it on board the ship, and sometimes you see people that, no, I want the authentic vanilla. I'm like, it's authentic vanilla. You have it on board. But they want to know that they bought it in Mexico. And that's just one example. So let's go to Turkey. We're in Turkey. So let's go here. We're going to go to Kuşadası, and there we have also a #1 SKU seller. Which one do you think it is? Raise your hand. Rocks? That's a good one. That's second. Oh, there you go. Turkish Delights. There you go. So make sure that you buy some of these. You need to try them. You need to taste them. And this is the #1 seller SKU on board. Sorry, not on board, but shoreside here in Turkey. Amazing. And especially the pistachio ones. You need to try those. And then finally, oh, sorry, I went too far. So sorry. Play dumb. What do you think is going to be the best? So, there you go, Barcelona jersey. And this is something that I couldn't believe. If you go to our Barcelona port, and we have these shops, and we have amazing liquor and tobacco and perfumes and cosmetics, the #1 SKU seller is a Barcelona jersey, which is something unique. I mean, again, there's something about that sense of destination that is important and people is always looking for. Finally, just to kind of like finalize my presentation with some I would say the key to success or some key factors are we always encourage our stakeholders, we always encourage our tenants and our partners to be local. Yes, we want this global company, and we want to invite these global retailers as well, not only these specific to different ports tenants or partners, but we want a global company that brings and standardizes the level of customer experience, but we want them to be local. We want them to bring some items that are specific to the places and give the opportunities to local brands to basically tap into this. Be original. That's also something important that we always try. Make sure that we don't have the same. If a ship is going to 3 different ports, the last thing we want is to have the exact same item on 3 different ports. There's an opportunity not only to customize or personalize, but to also be original. The way you display, the way you promote the brand, and as well as the products. Be immersive. We talk a lot about retailtainment, but the more opportunities that you get to engage the guests so that they don't only see just a shelf with some product, but you have the opportunity to engage them, like have them ask questions and have an entire experience when they actually feel it. We're talking about AI tools and these magic mirror things, and there's plenty of opportunities. I think it's important. And then finally, tell the story. I think storytelling is not only the future, it's the present, is what we need to do. And we need to make sure that if you are selling a hammock, have someone there making the hammock, have a video showing. I think Diamonds International and Nefi have done an amazing job to basically show videos and tell the people what it's all about, how the diamond comes and how it's designed and how it's like encrusted into the different pieces. I think that's unique because that way you're not only buying a specific diamond or a specific jewelry, but you're buying a whole souvenir. I think Jennifer said it very, very well. They're not in the business of fine jewelry. They're in the business of creating memories and taking that home. And I believe that that's the business we are all in and that we should be in. So those are my key messages. Then let's go to Q&A.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. I will.
You want to make two?
Please.
That way?
Say it. You are. Great. I will. Yes. Take us very quickly to a Q&A. So I wanted to pick your brain a little bit more, if I may, about. We've heard a lot of talk about sort of the opportunity for brands on ships, and you've talked a lot about what can be done on port side. Do you think there are opportunities for brands to create experiences and products that transfer from one to the other and back, or are they better off keeping everything very, very distinct, do you think, if they're looking to develop their presence?
No, yes, I think that's a great question. We discussed a lot about competition. Is there really competition between shoreside and port? Shoreside and onboard the ships. Is there competition between the different onboard experiences versus retail? So to answer your question, I believe that you see a lot of the same brands on board the ship that you see shoreside. But I believe that there's an opportunity to distinguish themselves by curating or by having specifically custom-made products for different regions, right? I believe that the key when you look into a ship is something that ties into the onboard experience. I think that's key. And then if you can tap into logo, I think that's also very important. When it comes to the ports, I think destination is what sets basically the pace. So Hennessy was one example, but if a brand can create specific items for the ships that you can only buy them there versus specific items that are more destination driven, I think that would be a key. And I think that's what's going to make a difference. And the Starbucks coffee mug is an example. You can find the exact same mug, but then if you want to buy the Norwegian one, you're not going to be able to buy it on a port. You need to buy it on board the ship. And if you're not there, sorry, you'll miss it. You're not going to buy it. And if you want to buy a destination mug, let's say from Barcelona, well, you need to go to the port to get it, right? So I believe that's where the huge opportunity is.
And what's the challenge with keeping shoppers in the port? So obviously you've got the appeal of the wider market. How do you sort of really focus on keeping shoppers shopping in the port rather than just...
That's also a great question. One of the things that we've been trying to do is create an experience. From having 6 million passengers walking through Nassau, just walk through like 2 minutes and they're gone, versus having an entire experience when you have an amphitheater and then you have a swimming pool and then you have a bar and then you have some experiences there, and have the ability for guests to be there looking at the ship. Those are the best pictures. Like the guests want to have a picture when they see like this sign that says, Cozumel, and then they have the ship on the back, and then they're able to take that picture, and then they feel safe. For some reason, if you know that your ship is leaving at 5, like you don't want to risk it and be there like at 4:45. So sometimes you get back to the port, like I see my ship is not leaving, I'm here, I can leave whatever I can. So as long as we are able to create these experiences on the ports, I believe that people are going to be happy, and they also have the ability to go to a shore excursion, have the entire day planned. They come back, and then the last couple of hours they can spend some time right there. So I believe that's the key.
And finally then, just looking to the future, how do you see port retail developing in the next few years, and what do you think will be the sort of biggest opportunities in it for both brands and companies such as your own?
Absolutely. So we've been in conversations. I mean, it's amazing to have this opportunity to talk to Starboard, to talk to Harding, to talk to Heinemann, to talk to Volta. We've been in conversations. DFA is also a new player in the game. So we've been having these conversations that are very interesting about what else can we do to not only differentiate, but like to create like an environment that is inviting and then is great. And Gianfranco was talking about how do we merge a Volta, for example, with a food and beverage experience now that they acquire Autogrill. And I believe that that's key. Instead of just thinking about a shop and then maybe a food and beverage. Can we do some combined experiences? Barcelona is a perfect example. Everybody wants to have this manchego cheese, with some of the ham and the, it's something amazing in Spain. Can you have that surrounded by like all souvenirs and like the wines? I believe that's the experience that we're looking at, and I believe that the future is something where we integrate retail, where retail meets other entertainment activities and other experiences like food and beverage.
That's brilliant. Well, Andres, thank you very much for joining us here and for sharing your insights with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking Andres Villalever.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks.